Hey friends, no helper today, so I'm on my own to push record there, and so you had to watch me again. So I decided that we're gonna kind of have a different sort of morning meeting, and we have had my class, we've had that happen before where we don't stick to our regular routine with something because something comes up or we need to talk about something, and I feel like today is one of those days. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little chat and we'll get really back to business with the calendar and all that other stuff tomorrow, okay? But today I want to talk to you about a word, and it's been a word that's been part of my life for as long as I can remember. W O R R Y. The word is worry, and it's used a lot, but it's one of these words that it's used a lot, but it can mean a lot of different things too. And so when you're young, sometimes that doesn't make sense. Why does one word mean different things? So that since I just told you that this word has been part of my life my whole life, I'm going to tell you from a kid's point of view what worry was, and then I'm going to tell you what worry is about and like when you're an adult, and then I'm going to maybe give you some helpful things you can do if you're somebody who worries or if you know someone that worries a lot. So Miss Fireeisen, my real name is Leah, and I have been told my whole life, Leah, you worry too much. And I have come to realize, I'm 43 now, that yes, I do worry too much, and that I really wish I had understood worry more and that there were things I could have done about it rather than be a kid that worried a lot. Okay, so worrying is when you're thinking about something that hasn't happened yet and you are kind of scared about it. You keep thinking about it. You might say, I'm worried if that is going to turn out. If you put a cake in the oven, your mom might say, oh my gosh, I'm so worried. What if that doesn't turn out? Or if you're driving down the road with your family and your dad says, oh, I'm worried I didn't shut the garage door. Those are things that they say, but they're not worrying about them in the sense that they keep thinking about them, or maybe they're thinking about them at night. It's just something real quick that you think of and you hope that it's okay. Okay, so that's one type of worry. Well, Miss Fireeisen did, even as a kid, a lot of kind of crazy worrying. So my mom and dad worked really hard. I had two older sisters, and like I said, my mom worked really hard at their jobs, but we didn't always have a lot of money. And my mom and dad made sure that we had all the food we needed and we had everything that we could possibly need. And they worked hard to give us the things that we wanted. But I knew that they had to give up some things too that maybe they wanted so that me and my sisters could do some of the things that we did. So although my parents never said anything to me about that, I remember picking up on it, that I would be in a room and I would pick up on the fact that maybe times were a little bit tough. And so I thought, gosh, well, how can I help as a kid? So we lived in a really old house, and I was up on the second floor, and I remember this so distinctly, but it would be very, very, very hot, like maybe 90 degrees when it was time to go to bed, and we didn't have air conditioners then, and I had a window fan, but I would never turn it on because I thought, well, I don't want my mom and dad to have to pay for me to have that fan turned on. I'm not sure if your mom or dad remind you all the time that there's an electricity bill that has to get paid every month, and anything you plug in goes into that. But this is one of those cases where I wish I would have talked about something this and told my parents I was worried and told them that was going to be my solution, because they would have told me then that having a fan on at night is not going to cost very much, and that they would rather I was comfortable and not really hot at night so that I could go to sleep. I know they would not have wanted me to stay up and worry about something like that. Also, when I was little, I would maybe hear that there was a storm coming or snow coming, and I would be so worried about it. Oh boy. Well, I get it that maybe at that time that I was worried, I was hearing maybe a lot about it on the news or things like that, but I shouldn't have been worried about it because as a kid, it didn't really affect me. If there was going to be school, the school bus drivers would have been able to get me to school. My teachers would have taken care of me while I was there. I would have had my lunch. I would have come home. Everything would have been fine. And if I stayed home, the same things. Only those things would have happened while I was at home. So it's kind of silly for a kid to worry about some sort of storm. If it's a thunderstorm or something of that nature, or a tornado warning, there are things you can do, right? Those things kind of come up pretty quick. And worry is kind of the same as being scared sometimes, but they're two different things, okay? You can be worried about a storm coming, but if there isn't one coming, you shouldn't waste your time thinking about something that hasn't happened yet. But if you hear the tornado warning or the alarm and you're worried, that's okay, right? But when you're worried then and you're a kid, don't, because your mom or your dad or whoever you're with, your teacher, your grandma, your grandpa, that's what adults do. We learn our whole lives how to take care of kids in that situation, what to do when those things happen. So there may be things as those things are going on that maybe somebody asks you to do, like to shut a door or to walk downstairs, whatever that might be. The best way you can help is just to do what they ask you to do. Let's see. Well, there's another thing that I've always worried about. I always worried about what other people thought of me or think of me. I still kind of have a problem with that. And you know what? I realized that's my silliest worry of all, really. Because especially now that we're all home with our really close families and we're kind of just down to the basics as far as being around a lot of the people we know. Maybe we're still sending messages or we're still communicating, and we have Facebook and maybe FaceTime and all those things. The people that you are talking with during a time like that, and the people that are in your house and the people that are the closest on your heart, those are the group of people that you should worry about what they think of you. If they think you're nice or kind, or if they think that you're great at basketball, or you're a really good baker, or that you can have a really silly laugh sometimes. Those people, they're kind of called your inner, but it's a pretty big inner circle of your life. Those are the people that you need to worry about. Now, if those kinds of people think something about you and it's not good, then you should try to fix that. Because those people, like we talked about the other day, if someone tells you those things, they're most likely telling you because they're trying to help you, especially if it's somebody that's close to you. But mostly, friends, you just have to learn to like yourself and not worry or lay awake thinking about something that somebody is thinking. Because you know what? When we worry, there's two things. We can either worry and just worry to worry, or we can worry and try to do something about it, okay? Worrying about what other people think of you, or worrying about things that are so unlikely to happen, those just take up time and space in your brain. You have to try your best to replace those with some sort of positive thought. But the other part of worry is something called trust. And this is the best kind of worry. And it's the worry where you have trust. You're worried that something might happen, but you trust that everything's going to be okay, and that the systems and the people and everything that is put in place to handle those things is going to take care of it, and that everything is going to be okay. So I just want to bring it back to kind of how life is right now. I know that some kids are worried. They're thinking, what's going on? Why aren't we at school? Why is my mom and dad home? Why are we not able to go to the store for double stuffed Oreos? What do you mean we can't go to Sky Zone when we're not at school? What do you mean I can't have so-and-so over for a sleepover? What do you mean I can't just go over to the neighbor's house and play a video game? Yeah, those things are such a difference in your life right now that maybe you are worried about them. But here's the deal. This is one of those things. This is one of the kinds of worry that you should not have. What we need to do right now is realize that all adults we're getting the latest information every day, and we're doing the best that we can to make sure that you are having fun at home and that everybody is safe. And yeah, those are the things that the adults are going to do. So worrying about those things aren't going to help you, friends, okay? Try not to worry and go more with that trust that I talked about. And you need to understand that even though maybe your mom or your dad or whoever you're with say that they're worried, or they seem like they're worried, that you can just tell by the way they're acting, that's okay. Like I said, it's a normal thing to feel, but adults right now have to handle our worries in a different way. Remember, we have to make sure that all things are taken care of so that when this is all over, we can all go back to life as usual, or life how it will be, okay? So I realized this was a little crazy, and I said the word worry a lot, but I just wanted to see if any other kids out there were kind of like me when I was a kid. And like I said, I wish I had had some skills or known different when I was growing up so that I could have saved myself a lot of sleepless nights. So, but one thing you don't have to worry about is that I'll be right back here tomorrow on Tuesday, March 24th for a regular morning meeting with our book and our skills and all that other stuff. All right, be nice to each other. Take care. Be well.